So we have the 2024 9R in at Stoked. I just picked it up today from Mountain Motorsports. So last year I was running a Skins hood. I really love the Skins hood because of the extra storage and heated storage too. But this year, so I'm gonna go between a Skins hood and the stock hood. So Carbon Pursuit makes this full carbon fiber handmade headlight delete. So you drop a lot of weight getting rid of that headlight, and you're around $250, $280, I think, for a headlight delete, as where Skins hood is $1,250. So I'm gonna kind of go between the two once I get a scale, and once I get the Skins hood, I'll just weigh the difference between the two different options. I think the headlight delete is a great option if you don't want to have to spend $1,250. You can drop some weight and it not be that expensive. So that's something really cool that Carbon Pursuit did. So I'll be running that for the first while. Got Olin shocks, full setup, GGB quiet can, the Ice Age lightweight spindles. So they're gonna be way stronger than your factory ones, and they're actually a little bit lighter than your factory ones too, so that's a bonus. Cheetah setup, I'm changing my Cheetah setup this year. So they got their direct mount risers now, which are really cool. These little steering post adapter pieces so that you can mount your kill switch and reverse switch and get them off your handlebars, clean it up. I'm gonna try the new Misfit bar this year. It's got the smaller grip diameter and a little bit different bend and whatnot. So I'm gonna give that a whirl, change it up. And then just, the big bar pad for extra safety in case you smash your face. The Munster kill switch, finger throttle guard and finger throttle. Seco seat cover, ECD wrap. Whiskey Throttle's got a really cool lightweight titanium bolt kit, so obviously way stronger than what comes stock on the sled, and also drop weight. So you have your outer clutch cover bolts, your tie weight bolts, your primary secondary bolt, your quick drive bolts, washers, and then titanium main primary bolt. So that's gonna be really cool. Drop a lot of weight, and this, compared to the stock one, this feels like a feather, and it's stronger, so I'm not gonna have to worry about breaking those. Full Ibex clutch kit, I ran that last year. And then also Whiskey Throttle has this roller bearing washer that goes in your secondary to stop the spring from binding up. And then for your primary spring, some slip washers. And that's about it right now. I forgot my Ice Age rails at home, so that's 9 hours away. So I'm doing classic red Hellfire rails, and then red Hellfire wheels, and then the classic rails in red. And then I think that's it. So I'm just getting the wrap on. Definitely different than what I used to or usually do for wraps, but I think it'll kind of work out. Trying to do a black, red, and gold theme this year. Tried to get the gold as close as we could to gold with the gloss. Just a little, I guess, a pointer. A lot of people want me to do wraps for them. There's all sorts of tools you can use. I honestly find just installing wraps with your fingers is just the easiest. I lay it all on. That's the really nice part about the ECD. I believe there's other brands that are good with it too, but I find that ECD's wraps, you just don't heat, you just stick on, pull off as you need to find the spot that you want to put it. And then essentially once I get the whole wrap on, then I heat and kind of work the wrap in as need be once I get it all in place. I find with the tools, generally with gloss, you will kind of like lightly scratch them, like gloss really shows. Matte isn't as bad. But yeah, I just find working it with my fingers is just the best option for installing the wrap. And like I use the photo on my phone, as you can see, and just to find out the layout of pieces. Pretty much have it down packed now where everything goes, just because I've done a few of these now already. But yeah, it's coming along. Not too fond of the gray that the Chaos came with. A little bit of the panels and the hood is a gray, so you can kind of see it, but in the background behind the wrap, not too bad though. But yeah, I think I'm not gonna get a whole lot done. I got some guys in town that actually want to go for a ride tomorrow, so I'm gonna do a careful little break and rip tomorrow. So got the Carbon Pursuit headlight delete in there. Gonna go for a quick burn tomorrow. Got most of the wrap done. I'm gonna run the stock hood with the carbon delete a little bit and just talk about how, you know, you're gonna drop a bunch of weight running it. It's a cheaper option of dropping some weight for sure instead of the skins hood. Give a little pros and cons about going the cheaper route, pros and cons of going the more expensive route with the skins hood. And yeah, but the fit and finish of this headlight delete is, I mean, it's perfect. Fit absolutely perfect. These things are so sick. And yeah, if you don't want to spend $1,250 to drop weight, I would definitely get yourself one of these headlight deletes. All right, first day. Just do a little chat here quick. So I got the Carbon Pursuit headlight delete. So it's nice. I dropped some weight with this, about 4.5 pounds. Definitely a cheaper option of dropping weight for sure. Currently in my glove box, I got my dad cam, which I'm using right now. Some toques, some gloves. It's about all I can fit in there, which is about what I need. But I will say having that extra compartment right here on the skins hood definitely is handy. Takes a few more things out of my backpack. A little less weight on my back, but I also don't have a tunnel bag going right now either. But definitely the carbon headlight delete is your cheapest way to drop some weight. And it also looks really sick. But yeah, the boys are trying to find a path here. So better get on it. All right, well, work in progress here. Got my skins hood set up now also, so I'm gonna swap between this hood and I just need to get a weight scale. I want to weigh the difference between the skins hood setup and my stock hood with the Carbon Pursuit's headlight delete. Yeah, I'm gonna be swapping between the two here throughout the season and just seeing what I am gonna go with, like strictly, I think, because this hood is not cheap. And yes, it has an extra storage compartment. I already did my first ride with the stock hood with the carbon headlight delete. And the stock hood is definitely a lot lighter with that headlight delete. And it's way cheaper than the skins hood. The skins hood's like $1,250, $1,280 Canadian, so it's not cheap. So this year, I'm running the Striker Ice Age A-arms. So I got one side on right now, and then I got the lightweight Elevate spindles. So they got the cutouts here, so they're actually a little bit lighter than their factory spindle. and way stronger because this is all billet aluminum. Big shout out to Stoked for got my set of Olin shocks, and with the Olin shocks, Stoked actually has proper bushings built now so that you can run the Olin shock with the Striker A-arms, because the supplied hardware with the Striker A-arms will not work with the Olin shocks. So if you want these proper inserts, bushings for Olin shocks with Striker A-arm on the Polaris, get a hold of Stoke Mountain Adventures and he can get you rigged up with that. So you can tell that the right side of the sled right now, from my view, is sitting a little higher and everything's leaning to the left. That's with the Elevate kit and the A-arm kit on that side of the sled. The other side is stock, the left side. All right, so yeah, I got my one bolt in here still. I'm just gonna put my grab onto the clutch on this side, put some pressure on there, and just slowly back this one out. Just so that it evenly comes out. Usually I use power tools for this, but they're in my truck and I'm too lazy to go grab them right now, so I'm just gonna do it this way. There. There, so now pull this seat, and like, that is an issue. That is exactly why, prime example why I'm gonna put in these slip washers from Whiskey Throttle that he supplies in their clutch kits. Because this factory spring, I have 30 kilometers on this sled. That's it. And that spring was, yeah, I can see the groove in here already, where the spring was binding up in that clutch. So not good at all. So that is why we take these washers that he got made up, and one just goes inside there, and then when you put your spring in there, it spins nice and freely. It's not going to bind up in that clutch. Because as soon as that binding happens, not only does it obviously wear your primary clutch, it wears the spring, causes severe performance loss, and RPMs are going to be spiking. They're not going to be consistent, and it's also going to stress that spring and make that spring break way easier. We've had some spring breaking issues in the last couple of years. A lot of sleds were doing it just factory, and a lot of it is, or most of it's all due to these springs binding up in here. So yeah, definitely this will solve that issue. And then the other one will just sit nicely in your outer cover, and that spring just spins nice and freely on there. So won't be any binding or performance loss or part failures. So yeah, I'm glad that was like that when I took this apart, because that is a huge problem with these sleds. Maybe one day they'll come with this kind of stuff factory, but this is why we work with these good aftermarket companies that supply all these good products for us. All right, just got my Smith grade bumpers back from Powder Coat, and I'm just installing them right now. Pretty straightforward to pull your stock bumper off. You got one bolt here, you have a ground connected. You have another bolt right here, which has a hanger that your spring connects to. You got two T40s screws on each side here. And then right here, you would have your hood caps. So I just use a 3/16 drill bit, drill those rivets out because you need to use those on your new bumper. And then obviously same thing, bolt in your Smith grade bumper. So it's a 2-piece. This piece just bolts right into those factory spots. Use your factory hardware. You have some supplied bolts for where your T40 was. Comes with it. Then this nose cone piece slides under these two faces here, and then you just drill a hole and use a couple bolts, mount that. You got a spot for your factory nose cone bolt there too. And then underneath, you'll have 2 rivets right here for your plastic piece for your nose cone. So I just drill those 2 rivets out. And once the inner part of the rivet's gonna fall inside your belly pan, so just make sure you get those out before you run your sled. And then here you just drill 4 new holes here, 3/16 drill bit. Use the supplied rivets, they're longer ones for this section. And then yeah, just rivet your belly pan on, bolt everything back together, and you're good to go. Smith grade changed the bumpers a little bit from what I had before. I had a 1-piece before, and there's a little bit of a gap in here that snow would fill in and whatnot. He now molded them like with the shape of the whole nose cone. So like everything fits like super clean, tight, nice. Like you're not gonna have any snow holding up in here anywhere. And I mean, this protects your whole nose cone, protects your, lower belly pants section here. And yeah, I've been working with Smith grade for a number of years now. I love his bumpers. They're super strong. And I've hit some nasty stuff and I've yet to bend one. They will give. They're designed to give with a hard enough impact, but the way he has them designed, they hold up really well and can take a big beating before it's actually going to start to give in. And I haven't had any issues of it causing any damage anywhere on the sled. I've gave a lot of input over the last few years with the design of the Matrix bumper, and he absolutely nailed it this year. Like, I'm so impressed on how clean this fits, how much it protects, how tight it is to the body of the sled. So yeah, I won't run anything different. And then once I get the front done, I will move to the rear and explain that to you guys. So one thing I had to do, and I don't know if I'm doing this right or wrong, but I installed the 24 scratchers right here. I had to grind the bottom side of this down a bit so that I could actually fit the bolt through. Had to shave this piece down a little bit so that the holes would line up. And then it just hooks perfectly on the classic rails right there. So whether it's right or wrong, that works and made her work. Didn't have to take much, like maybe 1/8 of an inch off the bottom side of this, and then fit in there. Also kind of splurged a little bit. Found this foldable like jigsaw blade cutter, and you can just replace blades. I bought some extra blades for it. I don't know what I'll use it for. I was gonna try it on maybe cutting the IFAX with this. I don't know, look cool, neat. Milwaukee, they get me every time. Got some new Sharpies. But the Hellfire is ready to go once I get my rails pretty much set up. Got my holes drilled to drop my front skid bolt. I drilled it first with a 3/8 and then went through with it after with an 11/32 drill bit. Obviously your running board's in the way, so what I found to do that with is this guy. I couldn't find an 11/32, but I found a 3/8. So now I can drill from the outside here and drill this hole at a straight angle instead of kind of battling, trying to drill it like with the tool in the way, because your drill's gonna hit the running board. So yeah, this was like, I don't know, 19 bucks or whatever it was. Literally bought it just for this, that I'm gonna do 2 holes a year. But yeah, Carter at Stoked found one and showed me, and I'm like, oh yeah, good idea. So I got one. So there's a little tip for you guys if you're drilling that drop hole there out, if you're doing the elevate. Lightweight spindles are on. Got the striker A-arms on, the Ohlins with the bushings. I guess we can quickly talk about my new sled hauler setup. So I got a 2024 3500 HD GMC long box Duramax. I originally ordered a all black Denali Ultimate with like the Vader chrome and all that stuff. When it showed up, it was like $25,000 more than they originally thought the truck was going to be. So it was like $142,000 out the door, just stock. So I ended up ordering an AT4 in just the Summit White, I believe it is, just white, not the pearl. Long box, obviously. And I said I wasn't ever going to lift a truck again, but after talking to No Limit, you know, they're my boys and they got me into another lift that I shouldn't have issues with. So quick build review of the truck. I got 22 by 12 -44 TIS wheels in black with Toyo AT3 tires. One thing about these tires, they're nice and quiet. They're going to be my summer setup. Not good in the winter. I've had a little bit of snow on them already and icy situations, and they are not good. Studded, I guess maybe, but the way they sit, not good. I have a 7 to 9 inch Cognito lift with the Fox shocks. The lift rides amazing. I had a BDS 6.5, and I had a lot of issues with that in 2017. So far, no issues with Cognito lift. No Limit Automotive did all of that work. Trigger Industries, kickback, flaps, I got them in the 14 wide. No Limit installed those. Trigger all the way. They've been amazing. The coating holds up. I've had them for 3 years on a truck. Not a single problem. No chipping, no rusting. Awesome. For my winter setup, I'm dealing with Wheel Pro Canada and Canada Custom Auto Works. I got a set of 20-inch wheels. They're 20 by 10 -24 with a 37-inch winter tire. So that's what I'm going to be running. I originally got a 35-inch setup because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to clear them, because Chevys are really bad for that. So anyways, I'll run these 35s down. Once those 35s wear out, I'll throw a set of 37s on the 22s. Just some high clearance side steps I threw on. I got my gunmetal flatbed sled deck I've had on for a couple of years. I just, on my previous trucks, threw it on the new one for now. Come around Christmas time, got a new project surprise going on with Gunmetal Fab with that. So not going to talk too much about that until that happens. The interiors on these new trucks, finally power mirrors that power out, finally. Not a huge fan of the looks of the mirrors, but anyways, power out, so that's handy. Inside of the truck, I mean, typical fully loaded truck. They got the big screens and whatnot now, which is pretty cool. They did a big new update in the 24s for the HD series. Essentially, a lot of it is from the half-ton series, but I've been waiting for them to do an update because, yeah, much needed. So love the interior on the 24. Probably gonna delete it once deletes come available. It's not bad the way it sits. It's sitting at 7-inch lift right now. I will be putting an onboard air compressor with auto leveling system. Gunmetal Fab is gonna be throwing in some traction bars on this also. But it's sitting at 7, which is all the way turned down, and it's perfect. The axles are perfectly straight the way it sits factory. So yeah, an expensive lift, that's for sure, but amazing. It rides amazing. So very happy about that. Big shout out to the guys at No Limit. Year after year, they're helping me build my trucks and, you know, maintain them and everything. So yeah, I run what they tell me because it's always been the best, and they have very little issues and very much experience with all this stuff. So that is the sled hauler as of right now. I won't be heading down south to Revelstoke till probably mid-January, just with my new job and everything going on. My schedule, I do not have any time to do it until then, but we are going to, new gig requires some tools in the truck. So I got my whole back seat full of tools that I'm gonna just rig into the truck. Got a fire extinguisher and mount bracket and everything. I'm probably gonna put that on the headache rack of the sled deck, get that all mounted up and done. And maybe try to get the other front end side of the sled done tonight too. But yeah, this is what my birthday days are like. This is what I enjoy. Work on the truck, working on the sled. All right, well, here we have pretty much a completely done 2024 build for my season. Quick review again. We got an ECD wrap. Been using ECD for many years. Just the best quality I've personally ever run. Great service. The material itself is easy to install, holds up really well to all the tree bashing and everything that I do. We have the Ice Age Striker A-arms with the new lightweight Elevate spindles. So they have the cutouts here. They're actually a little bit lighter than your factory spindle, but yet way stronger. Billet aluminum. I got the Swedish gold Olin shocks. If you want to use the Olins in a Striker A-arm from Ice Age, contact Soap Mountain Adventures. They have these inserts so that spacers so that you can actually run an Olins with the Ice Age setup. So contact Soap Mountain Adventures for that. I'm going to be swapping between the skins hood and my factory hood throughout the season. Give just good, honest opinions between both options. With my stock hood, I have the Carbon Pursuit headlight delete, and then obviously the skins hood. I'm just waiting to get my wrap for my factory hood. So as of right now, I just have the skins hood because I had the wrap for it already. The comparison I'm doing there is just, mostly just a cost comparison. So the skins hood, you do have this extra storage part right here over the stock hood. And yeah, so really that's the biggest difference. The skins hood is a little bit lighter than the factory hood with the headlight delete. The headlight delete, you drop out 4.5 pounds. Skins hood, I think, is 11 to 12 pounds range there. But that hood is like $1,250, where stock hood comes with the sled. You can throw a Carbon Pursuit headlight delete in there for like $280, I believe. So the Carbon Pursuit way is definitely more cost effective, and you're dropping some weight. So we'll kind of do a comparison throughout the season with that. We have my Cheetah bar setup, Hero grips with the Misfit bar, and the new FTP direct mount riser. That is awesome. No more, worrying about stuff pivoting there. Got the bar pad. I got the CFR relocate switch setup here. So my switches are down here, out of the way, clear off my bars. Everything's out of the way there. Monster switches, Monster finger throttle. We got the 7S. Love the 7S for all the tracking and all that kind of stuff you can do with that. I still need to put my Seco seat cover on, which is going to be black with some red stripes. So that'll be sweet. Lots of grip there. I also am going to run the Rocks FX tunnel grips, the stick-on ones. I just got to order those up still. Just been super busy working, so I'm trying to get stuff done as quick as I can. Ice Age foot stirrups, billet ones, super light, super strong. Not gonna wreck those. Way stronger than factory. For my rail setup, I'm running the Ice Age Classic rails again, in red, and then the red Hellfire wheels in an 8-inch wheel. Classic rails again, mostly just because I didn't bend my Classics last year. I've always ran Bombers. The Classics are lighter, so I'm trying to keep this 9R as light as I can. I don't know if I mentioned that, but yes, we're running a 9R once again. Love the 9R. Olin shocks. These are the new scratchers for 24. So I have it in this hole that was already here on the Ice Age rail, and they just perfectly hook right into this spot and holds the scratcher there. The only thing I did have to do for this hole to line up properly is I just grinded this whole bottom surface of this scratcher system here. Just grinded it like maybe 1/8 of an inch, and then that hole lined up so that I can bolt that on. So that's the only thing different I did there. Caleb on Proven Progression has got a video on the rail setup, so I essentially just swapped my runner around, slid it all the way forward, drilled a new hole to mount my slider for the bolt here, or the screw, all the way forward, no rail cap. And yeah, that's nothing really different in the skid wise besides the shocks. Like I said, classic rails. For install, everything's the same as I did last year. I got a video there of kind of more detailed video of how I installed everything. Have my front skid bolt dropped, and really everything was the same. The only thing I did different this year is when I actually put my skid in, I usually always have just lifted the rear of the sled up, kind of slid my skid in. I fought with it a little bit. On Caleb's video, he had his sled tipped over and put the skid in that ways with the sled tipped over. So I tried that this year. I found it way easier to get the front holes to line up for the front skid bolt and the rear. And then I just flipped the sled back towards myself, and vice versa, same thing on the other side to get all 4 skid bolts in. So yeah, that worked better, I found. This is the new Series 9 325 track. In the past few years, I've ran the Camzo 300LX. I really loved that track. It's super strong, lots of traction. I'm gonna give this new track from Polaris an honest go here for a while, see how I like it. Pros and cons, kind of keep you guys updated on that. It is a lot lighter than the Camzo track too, so you know that could be a bonus. So we'll see how that works. Bumper wise, they are done at powder coat. Once again, Smith grade front and rear bumpers. Did them just all in gloss black, and then the couple accents pieces on the ends of the rear bumper are going to be red. And so yeah, bumpers. I got whiskey throttle with Ibex. We're doing the full 9R clutch kit again. I'm also going to run Whiskey Throttle Power Sports, their full titanium bolt kit. So that'll come with your primary bolt, your secondary bolt in titanium, your pin weight bolts for your weights, those will be titanium. The outer cover bolts will be titanium. I'll have a fire and ice outer primary cover too. That'll be billet aluminum. Then also it comes with your upper gear and your lower gear quick drive gear bolts. Those will also be in titanium. So it's a full like lightweight, I wouldn't say full lightweight, but your main bolts that you're always kind of messing with or using. Drop some rotating mass in your clutching system and drop some mass on the other side too. So that's a pretty cool kit. That's all available on Whiskey Throttle Power Sports' page. Yeah, I think for the most part, that's kind of everything I'm doing for sled wise. I don't think I'm missing something, but yeah, 9R again, Stoke Mountain Adventures in Revelstoke, hooking me up big time. Those guys are awesome there. They have a full line of all the parts you can think of in Revelstoke. Sled rentals, everything. Accommodations, I mean, they're just top notch. So if you're in Revelstoke, coming through, whether you need parts, need somewhere to stay, need sleds, whatever it is, hit them up. The best in the business, in my opinion. And yeah, big thanks to them. Wouldn't have this build if it wasn't for them. So yeah, wicked crew there. And 9R, like I said, honestly, I got turbos trying to keep up to me all the time. So I'm gonna stay with the 9R. I love how light it is. I love the response. It's got great power. And oh yes, GGB exhaust. So we got the GGB Quiet can. It's my favorite can that I've ever ran to date. It works awesome. I have performance gains via lighter weight, and I've proven it last year that my 9R actually makes more power with the GGB Quiet can on. Not saying that they're the only one that's gonna have power, or make power, but I found that the 9R pulls more weight in my clutching with the can on than with the factory can. So do with that info what you would like, but the Quiet can is the quietest on the market that I've had, and it looks great, lightweight, and I've had no issues with it. So that's why I go with the GGB Quiet can. So yeah, there's the build, you guys. If you got any questions, hit me up on social media platforms. I'll answer everybody's questions as quick as I can. I hope to be on the snow here in a few weeks' time. And yeah, looking forward to getting some content out for you guys. Quick thanks to all the sponsors that I'm working with this season: ECD Customs, Gunmetal Fab, and Stoke Mountain Adventures, Whiskey Throttle Power Sports, Ice Age, GGB, Clear Tech Products, Munster, CFR, No Limit Automotive, Tripack Performance, White Lightning Media, 509, Mountain Lab Gear, Ibex, Space Grace, Smith Grade Welding, Fire and Ice. Might have mentioned that twice. I just want to make sure I get everybody that I'm working with. Seco Seats. Yeah, thanks to all of you guys. Without you guys' support, I would not have these amazing builds that I do every year. And I'm so proud to, bring my Envision to life every season and show people what all these products can do for your snowmobile and the benefits and so on. So yeah, huge shout out to all you guys. You are why these happen and why I strive to just every year make a new build, spend endless hours building these things, because there's a lot of time into this. Even though it seems like it's simple after multiple years, there's a lot of time that goes into these things. So yeah, thanks again, guys.